Welcome to the Dark Lord's Dispatch podcast. From the desk of Satan, Prince of Darkness, CEO of Hell Enterprises, Hell's Throne Room. Friday, September 5th, 2025. Satire Disclaimer. Before we dive into Hell's newsroom, where Satan's having a complete fucking meltdown about being out-eviled by recycled golf photos, let's get something straight. This is satire, as in not real news. Satan isn't actually analyzing Trump's health status from Hell's break room. The demons didn't literally take notes when F-35s drowned out rape survivors. That shit actually happened. We're just having fictional demons comment on it, because who else is qualified to analyze using military jets for gaslighting? The Dark Lord's Dispatch is a work of political humor, featuring fictional correspondence from Hell about unfortunately real events. Any resemblance to actual persons using fighter jets to silence rape survivors, stripping Secret Service protection from political rivals, or putting $100,000 bounties on pregnant women is, well, that's literally what happened this week. We're just having Satan point out that even he wouldn't have thought to use the Air Force for Darvo. We're not suggesting Trump is actually dead and pulling a weekend at Bernie's through the presidency. We're just noting that posting week-old golf photos as proof of life while bombing Venezuela is suspicious as fuck. We're not saying the administration is literally more evil than hell. We're just having Satan admit professional defeat, because honestly, the irony writes itself. This is humor, folks. Dark, profane, blasphemous comedy, designed to make you laugh while a possibly decomposing president uses his potentially final heartbeats to stop other people's hearts. If you can't tell the difference between our fictional Satan's existential crisis and actual political analysis, please exit immediately and check if you've been asking, is he dead yet? Unironically, if you're offended by strong language, jokes about toxic masculinity's death rattle, or the phrase geopolitical Viagra, this isn't for you. Go listen to something less disturbing, like recordings of actual war crimes. Still here? Good. Remember, the real demons aren't in our fictional hell. They're in the actual policies that turn military equipment into tools for silencing women and create bounty systems for hunting pregnant women. Now let's get to the show, where Satan discovers that "Is he dead yet?" has become America's new national greeting. You're up, big guy.
Breaking. When proof of life means dealing death. Greetings, mortals. Satan here, and wholly decomposing democracy. We need to address the question that's become America's new national greeting. Is he dead yet? You all know who we're talking about. It's become such a universal reference that saying, "Is he dead yet?" immediately conjures images of a 79-year-old orange corpse with chronic venous insufficiency and bruised hands trying to prove he's alive by posting week-old golf photos. Let me paint you the beautiful picture. Last week, Trump posted a proof-of-life photo with John Gruden that internet detectives immediately identified as being from August 23rd, a full fucking week old, because Gruden was wearing the exact same outfit in an Instagram post from that date. That's not proving you're alive. That's proving you don't understand how timestamps work. About 158,000 posts with # Trump is dead and 42,000 with # Trump died were trending by Saturday morning. Even I, the literal embodiment of death and destruction, found that a bit premature. Though watching him try to prove he's alive with recycled content is like watching a zombie Instagram influencer. Technically posting, but clearly dead inside. But here's where this gets exquisitely evil. The same week everyone's asking, is he dead yet? This walking corpse orchestrates something so beautifully cruel that I'm taking notes for Hell's advanced placement program. The September 3rd Darvo Masterclass, Bombing Victims with Taxpayer Dollars. Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. Mark it down as the day Trump achieved what I've been trying to perfect since Eden, using military hardware for gaslighting. Picture this. Epstein survivors are holding a press conference. Chauntay Davies is about to be asked about Jeffrey Epstein's biggest brag, his friendship with Trump. And at that exact moment, USAF F-35 fighters roar overhead in a missing man formation to honor some Polish pilot. The timing was so perfect, it made my sulphurous heart skip a beat. Survivor Anuska DeGiorgio had to scream. I was abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for over 10 years, over the roar of military jets. That's not coincidence. That's not bad timing. That's Darvo at 5,000 feet and Mach 1.6. Deny. The Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax. Attack. Send fighter jets to literally drown out survivors. Reverse. We're honoring a dead Polish pilot, making Trump the noble one. You know what I would have done? Orchestrated an elegant symphony of suffering, each note precisely placed, building to a crescendo of damnation over centuries. This orange shit stain just smashes his face on the piano and calls it jazz. I wouldn't have thought of using the Air Force as a Darvo soundtrack. That takes a special kind of narcissistic genius, or stupidity so profound it circles back to genius. With these fuckers, it's impossible to tell. But that's just the appetizer. Let me turn this over to my correspondents who've been documenting this week's festival of possibly posthumous fuckery. First up, Lilith, with her rage report.
Thanks, boss. Hell's first feminist here, and holy fucking Handmaid's Tale. I need to dissect this week's cascade of dying patriarchal violence. You want to understand what's happening? Picture an old man on his deathbed using his last breath to spit in a woman's face. Now give that man the United States military, a Twitter account, and the nuclear codes. That's America, September 2025. The Epstein flyover, silencing survivors with supersonic sexism. Let's talk about what happened September 3rd, because the media's too chicken shit to call it what it was. State-sponsored terrorism against rape survivors. Those weren't just jets drowning out sexual assault survivors. They were $80 million F-35s. Each one costs more than most Americans will earn in multiple lifetimes, being weaponized to silence women talking about being raped as children. The timing was surgical. The exact moment Chauntay Davies was about to discuss Epstein's biggest brag, being his friendship with Trump, the jets peaked overhead. Anuska DeGiorgio had to scream, literally fucking scream. I was abused by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell for over 10 years, over the roar of military hardware. Think about that. A woman trying to tell the world about a decade of child rape has to compete with the sound barrier being broken by taxpayer-funded war machines. That's not coincidence. That's not bad timing. That's using the full force of American military might to tell rape survivors, shut the fuck up. The cover story? Honoring a dead Polish pilot. Because nothing says, we respect the fallen, like using their memory to silence the living who fell into pedophile rings. These women fell as children into Epstein's nightmare, and now they're being bombed with their own tax dollars for the crime of survival and speech. And the most fucked up part? It worked. The press conference was derailed. The message was sent. Speak about Trump's connections to child rape, and we'll drown you out with the machinery of war. But silencing survivors wasn't enough for this dying patriarch. August 29th, Trump signed an order revoking Kamala Harris's Secret Service protection, effective September 1st, right before her 15-city book tour. Let me spell this out for the morons in the back. The first black female VP in American history who received extended protection specifically because of documented death threats from white supremacists, gets her security stripped by the racist she intellectually dismantled in debates. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass called it what it is. This puts the former vice president in danger. No shit. That's the point. This isn't just petty revenge. This is, I hope one of my supporters murders you, and I've just made it easier with the presidential seal. It's not a dog whistle. It's a fucking air horn to every MAGA psychopath with a gun and a grudge against uppity, black women who dare to be smarter than white men. The timing, exquisite in its cruelty. Strip her protection in time for her book tour, where she'll be exposed in 15 different cities. It's creating 15 opportunities for assassination and calling it budget efficiency. Then there's the Venezuela boat massacre that everyone's already forgetting because our attention spans have been destroyed by infinite scrolling through democracy's obituary. 11 people killed, no warning shots, no attempt to intercept, no arrests, no evidence collected, no due process. Just boom, missile strike on what Trump claims was a drug boat, but could have been a fucking fishing vessel for all we know, because dead people can't testify. You know what actual strength looks like? Building cases, collecting evidence, following international law. But that requires patience, competence, and functioning institutions, none of which this decomposing fascist possesses. So instead, he murders 11 brown people without trial to feel his dick twitch one more time. It's geopolitical Viagra. It's what happens when toxic masculinity gets missile codes. An old man whose body is failing, whose brain is mush, whose very existence is being questioned, decides the best way to prove he's still strong is to execute people from 30,000 feet. Those 11 people had names, families, stories, and possible narco-trafficking intel. They're now atomized particles floating in the Caribbean because a possibly dying president needed to feel powerful. That's not foreign policy. That's mass murder as therapy for erectile dysfunction. Texas bounty hunting. The Handmaid's Tale meets capitalism. And the blood-soaked cherry on this misogynistic Sunday? Texas just turned pregnancy into a profit center. The Texas Senate approved legislation creating a bounty system. Let me repeat that. A bounty system, where regular citizens can sue anyone who helps a woman get abortion pills and collect at minimum $100,000. $100,000 for hunting pregnant women. Let's break down this dystopian math. Sue the doctor who prescribed pills, $100,000. Sue the friend who drove her to the pharmacy, $100,000. Sue the sister who held her hand, $100,000. Sue the postal worker who delivered the package, $100,000. They've literally gamified forced birth. They've created a MLM scheme for controlling women's bodies. It's The Handmaid's Tale meets Dog, The Bounty Hunter meets Amway. And here's the part that makes me want to burn this entire dimension to ash. The pregnant woman's family members can sue. Your own husband can collect 6 figures for preventing your abortion. Your father-in-law can get rich off your reproductive coercion. Your teenage son can pay for college by suing your doctor. They've incentivized domestic surveillance. They've monetized male control over female bodies. They've put a price tag on wombs and made hunting women a career option. The pattern, violence, as proof of life. Connect these dots with your last functioning neurons. August 29th. Strip security from the black female rival. September 3rd. Military jets silence rape survivors. This week, put bounties on pregnant women. Ongoing. Eliminate existence of brown people without trial. This isn't random cruelty, it's systematic. An old, dying man and his regime are using their final gasps to hurt everyone they see as beneath them. Women, black people, brown people, poor people, rape survivors. Every F-35 drowning out testimony, every stripped security detail, every missile strike, every bounty payout. It's all the same fucking thing. Toxic masculinity using violence to prove it's still alive. A dying patriarchy's death rattle is the sound of women being hunted, survivors being silenced, and brown bodies being vaporized. The old man might be dying, but he's making sure to take as many women down with him as possible. That's not governance. That's a murder-suicide pact with American democracy, and women's bodies are the collateral damage. And the worst part? The absolute fucking worst part? Half of America is still asking, is he dead yet? Instead of, how do we stop him from killing everyone else? Raging against the dying of the patriarchal light while dodging its death throes. Lilith, gender politics analyst. Up next, Nyarlathotep with his propaganda report.
Thank you, Lilith. The crawling chaos here, marveling at the simultaneous states of presidential existence. Sweet, reality-warping fuckballs, we've achieved peak propaganda paradox. Schrodinger's fascist, who is simultaneously dead and dealing death, decomposing and destroying, absent and omnipresent. The recycled golf photo incident. Trump posts a photo with John Gruden to prove he's alive. Internet sleuths immediately identify it's from August 23rd because Gruden's wearing the identical outfit from an Instagram post that day. This isn't just lying about being alive. This is being too incompetent to lie convincingly about basic existence. It's like a corpse trying to weekend at Bernie's itself through social media. The trending death tags. # Trump is dead. 158,000 posts. # Trump died. 42,000 posts. The American people have collectively decided their president might be deceased. Not metaphorically, literally. They think he's an actual corpse. And his response? Recycled photos and military strikes. I'm not dead. Look at this old photo. Also, I just killed 11 people. See, alive. The quantum state of Trumpian existence. He exists in multiple states simultaneously. Dead on Twitter, bombing Venezuela in reality. Too weak to appear live, strong enough to strip security from rivals. Victim of health hoaxes, making corpses while claiming he's not one. Absent from public, omnipresent through violence. This isn't just propaganda. It's a reality existing in superposition until observed. And when observed, it's always whatever the fuck serves Trump's narrative in that nanosecond. The regime simultaneously tells us he's never been healthier, while he looks like reanimated roadkill. These health rumors are deep state lies, while posting week-old photos. He's actively governing, while possibly being on life support. Look at his strength while using military force to hide weakness. Your brain isn't meant to process these contradictions. That's the point. They're breaking your cognitive functions through paradox overload. Documenting reality's murder in real time, Nyarlathotep, father of 1,000 lies. Back to you, boss.
My closing thoughts. When your proof of life is dealing death. You know what truly fucks with my infernal mind. I spent millennia perfecting evil, careful corruption, artistic manipulation, subtle temptation that took generations to flower into damnation. This orange fuck achieved perfect Darvo with fighter jets. Fighter jets, while possibly dying. The incompetent efficiency of it makes me want to update Hell's curriculum. Let's connect these beautiful dots. The "Is he dead yet?" question has become America's morbid greeting, because you're watching a man who might be corpse-adjacent, using his potentially final heartbeats to stop other people's hearts. The Epstein flyover wasn't just silencing survivors. It was a dying man using $240 million worth of military hardware to scream, "I'm not the monster, they are." That's Darvo achieving escape velocity. Stripping Harris's security before her book tour isn't just revenge. It's potentially homicidal pettiness from someone who might not live to see the consequences. The Venezuela murders prove that nothing says, "I'm alive," like making other people dead. 11 souls sacrificed on the altar of proving his dick still works. The Texas bounty system puts a literal price tag on controlling women's bodies, while everyone's debating if the president still has a body that works. The cosmic joke, while America asks, "Is he dead yet?" He's killing democracy with what might be his dying breath. Every military strike, every stripped protection, every bounty system is this possibly dying regime, saying, if we're going down, we're taking everyone with us. Look, everyone, I invented temptation. I corrupted Eve. I orchestrated the fall of empires. But using F-35s to drown out rape survivors while everyone thinks you're dead, that's innovation in evil I didn't see coming. The most terrifying part, it's working. The survivors were silenced. Harris is in danger. 11 Venezuelans are dead. Abortion-seeking Texas women are being hunted for bounties, and half the country is still debating whether their president has a pulse instead of stopping the violence he's committing with what might be his last pulses. Welcome to America, 2025. Where is he dead yet? Isn't just a question, it's the national prayer, and the answer is not dead enough to stop killing everyone else. See you next week, mortals, if there's anyone still left alive. Eternally yours in darkness and professional jealousy, Satan. P.S. To anyone still asking, is he dead yet? The real question is, does it matter if the corpse is still setting policy? A dead president dealing death is still dealing death. P.P.S. Trump's proof of life is other people's death certificates. That's not governance. That's necromancy with nuclear codes.
Satan would like to thank you for listening to the Dark Lord's Dispatch. This podcast is public, so feel free to share it with other worthless souls. Now, go away.